Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you how to do a modesty hack on the Chelsea party dress. This tutorial is great if you don't want quite so much as deep of a V, or if you need a little bit more support in the bust area. This tutorial will help you with that. So you just need your center front piece, and you're going to want to do this tutorial to both the self view and the lining. So be sure to print out both of those. I'm just going to show you on one, but you're going to need to do it on both pieces. You're going to want some Scotch tape, a piece of pattern paper, a ruler, and a pencil. And I got a red one just so you can see a little bit better what's going on. The first thing you're going to want to do is tape down your pattern piece. Just in a couple places. And then we're going to add in our seam allowance, which is a ½ inch. So I'm doing this in red so you can see the seam allowance there. Next, what we're going to do is square up from the under bust line however much you want to add to your top. So let's say we want to add 3 inches of coverage. I'm going to line up the bottom with that 3-inch line so it will be square, and I'm going to go from the seam allowance point up to that 3-inch mark. So I'm going up and marking at 3 inches. Now the next thing we want to do is come out from this point about ½ inch. So ½ inch out, and this is going to be our new center front point. The reason we're coming out ½ inch is that during the testing process, when my testers were testing out the modesty hack, going straight up created too much tightness in the bust. So there needs to be a little bit of sort of wiggle room in there, if you were. So from our new bust point, we're going to go down to that old center front point, and we're going to go up to the original shoulder point, which I didn't draw in my seam allowance up here, so I don't know where my original shoulder point is. I just guessed, and I guessed pretty good. So now we need to add our new seam allowance in. So from your original seam allowance edge here, your seam allowance is 5 inches there, and add in your seam allowance here. So you will cut 2 of these, and you will stitch them together at this point. And if you are not quite so full busted, you might not need to come out fully ½ inch. You might only need to do 1/4 or maybe none at all. So I definitely recommend muslining this before you cut it in your new fabric. And then you will sew each of these together at this point, as well as with your lining. This will also change the length of your elastic needed for this seam here. So I would measure this seam line and subtract about ½ inch, and that'll give you your new elastic length. Or you may find in your muslin, if you have a good sturdy fabric, you might not need that stabilizing elastic anymore, since your front V neckline is not quite so deep. And that is how you would do a modesty hack for the Chelsea party dress, bringing that center front deep V up a little higher. And you would just cut out along this line with your paper scissors that is your new center front piece. And don't forget to do this on both your self and your lining pieces. And then you will have a nice, a little bit less revealing Chelsea party dress. Thanks very much for joining me on this tutorial for the Chelsea party dress so long. I hope you love this pattern as much as I do. Happy sewing!